You could be a Mason, you could be a Rosicrucian, you could be a knight of Malta. This all goes back to Nimrod or the so-called Babylonian and Egyptian history schools. Yeah. You read about Nimrod in Genesis 10th chapter.
Well, yeah, right. So Nimrod was one of the great heroes of old.
Right. Well, no, he was one of the great men. Now Nimrod is different. Nimrod was the first
king, correct?
No, Nimrod was the son of Cush.
The son of Cush.
So he was the first man to become a king. That's why when you read about a lot of the pagan gods, or like Osiris, or Baal, or Molech, or Marduk, Mars, Zeus, it's all talking about the same man, talking about Nimrod. All right. When you read about the pagan gods like Janus or Hermes, or in the Hindu religion Agni, they're all depicted with the two heads going opposite. That's representative of Cush. He was the man who preserved the knowledge from before the flood. So a lot of times you had the one head looking back from before the flood and the other head looking forward from after the flood.
Like Janus.
Right, like Janus, because he holds the keys, meaning he's the great interpreter. He has the great understanding of the knowledge.
Now, just so I'm clear on who everybody is, since we did a lot of stuff. You're talking about the descendants of Ham, correct?
Right.
So Ham, and there was Shem,
right,
and then there was Japheth.
Right.
So what happened to the descendants of Shem and Japheth? Well, the descendants of Shem is all Old Testament.
Right.
Japheth.
So they're everywhere, and then you have the descendants of Japheth, who are known today as the Polynesians or the Pacific Islanders. Right, like they tell you, like the so-called white man try to tell you that he's Japheth, but he's not Japheth. He's Esau. He's Esau, and he know that he's Esau. It only makes sense that he's Esau, because when you read the Bible, Christ is coming to take Esau out of power. When you read Isaiah the 63rd chapter, it links up with Revelation the 14th chapter. So why is it that Isaiah the 63rd chapter is talking about Christ coming to take Esau out of power, and then Revelation 14 is talking about him coming to take that fourth kingdom out of power? This is the same thing. Right? So you can't, it's like they say you can run, but you can't hide.
Anyway, back to Nimrod. Just on
right. So Nimrod is the man who, these people who say Christ is talking about Osiris. No, it's not. Osiris is talking about Nimrod. Now, the reason why you might see some of these pagan gods, they're looked at as the great liberators of mankind. Because what did Nimrod do? He was the first man under his father Cush as well to teach mankind against the Bible. They taught mankind some of the wisdom that made man go off before the flood. So what did Shem do? Shem put Nimrod on trial for what he did. And he got put to death and he got cut up. That's why in the story of Osiris, he gets cut up into 14 pieces.
By Seth.
Right. They find, now Seth is Shem. Right. But that's allegorical in the mythology. Right. So now that's why every time you see it, he gets cut up and they lose the so-called penis or the so-called rod of Osiris. But that's really talking about Nimrod. The proof of that, when you break down the name Nimrod, it means the subduer of the leopard. That's why a lot of the Egyptian priests, they would, under Osiris, they would wear the leopard skin print. The leopard prints for the Egyptian priests. Well, and when you have to break it down syllabically. Now, when you look at the name Nimrod, it really means a mighty hunter. When you break it down,
Namar means leopard.
Right, Nimrod, right. That means the subduer of the leopard.
And Yod means hunter. Okay, good.
Now,
interesting.
Now, even when you look at the Egyptian king list give you the first king as Menes or Menes, which in the Hebrew means the number. Remember when you read the book of Daniel, it says Menes, Tekel, what does it say in Daniel? Menes, Tekel, Sepharsim or something like that?
Paris is a lot.
Right. Why? Because that means your days are numbered. Cush was known as the great numberer. So when you look at the Egyptian king list, the first king was Menes. The next king is who? Narmer, talking about Nimrod. Then the next king is Hor-Aha. You can go on any Egyptian king list and you see those are the first three kings. They tell you that Hor-Aha was killed by a hippopotamus tusk. Now, when you go and look up the history on Tammuz, say he was killed by a wild boar tusk. So it's obviously talking about the same man. All right, same thing. But now they have to mix the story of Nimrod with the story of Christ to make people think that Christ is Nimrod, so that they no longer believe on him. All right. So now Christ didn't, but that's why it's so important to understand. Christ didn't come back to liberate all of mankind. He came back to free Jacob, to give Jacob a chance to act repentance. Not every nation. The nation is going to get taught in the kingdom. They're not supposed to get taught now.
So what you're saying is that the mystery school stuff is stems from
Cush and Nimrod. Cush and Nimrod, right. That's why he's known as the great interpreter or the great mathematician. Like for example, you look at Jay-Z's last album, the Blueprint 3. He had the 3 bars on it. The 3 bars are for the first trigram of the I Ching. And when you look up the first trigram of the I Ching, it means that they're trying to get power from the serpent god, from the god of communication, the god of the serpent god.
What is the first trigram of the I Ching? I forgot.
Of the I Ching is the 3 bars.
I know. What is it?
It means something about the sky god. It represents the sky god, something like that, right? The serpent god in the I Ching is known as Fushi. This is just another name for Hermes or Cush. So that's who they worship. When you look at Lil Wayne, he got the 3 bars tattooed on his arm. Same thing with Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
So we're talking about Hermes, right? Who's different from Hermes Trismegistus.
Same entity, not same person. And there's a difference. Why? Because to the profane person, the regular person, they give it to you in what they call mythology. But it's an allegory. Now when you're becoming enlightened, they break down those allegories for you to give you the real understanding. It's the same way like how Christ would tell people a parable, and he would say, he who has an ear, let him hear. Why? Because somebody who has to understand is going to understand what he's saying, even though he's speaking metaphorically or allegorically.
As I've studied, Hermes Trismegistus is identified with Enoch, right? Who was the 7th of Adam, down Seth's line, and he was the shortest lived of all the sons, lived 365 days and then died. Was just taken away by God.
Right. They say that that's talking about Enoch, but it's really not. Same way that they'll say what they give you what they call the cube of Metatron. They don't know if you heard that. Now the cube of Metatron is talking about right. It's really talking about the cube of Saturn. Now Saturn is the Roman name for Nimrod. It all goes back to the same, or the so-called box. Like for example, you have what they call the Jack in the Box, where the clown comes out the box. Why? Because that's the god of mischief. After he come out the box and he taught man what he deemed to be knowledge, then man went about dealing with that different type of knowledge. That's why if you see Loki is known as the god of mischief. Horus is known as the god of mischief also. Because after they came out and they taught man that certain type of knowledge, that's what's known as the 0 point, or the coming from the box. Or for example, you might if you watch the movie The Wizard of Oz, you see that when Dorothy went from Kansas to the land of Oz, remember she went from the black and white world to the world of color, but she had to go through the whirlwind. Now, the whirlwind is what's called the tube Taurus, or that's the portal from the physical world to the spiritual world. All right, it's the same thing. It's dealing with what they call transdimensionality. That's why a lot of times people will watch these hip hop videos and they go, "How come they got me in black and white?" And then it turned to color. Like if you watch the Beyonce and the Lady Gaga video for video phone, it goes from black and white to color because it's showing you how they're going in their mind from the physical world into the spirit world, because they deal with conjuring of the demons.
So I have been saying a lot of stuff, and I just want to make sure I have it all straight. We're identifying Saturn with Nimrod.
Yes, Saturn
with Osiris.
Right.
And we are identifying Metatron with Enoch.
No. Enoch, the real Enoch is not dealing with that. The real Enoch of the Bible is separate from the Enoch of the so-called occult.
Alright, well, so Enoch is identified with Hermes. Or we're saying no.
No. Hermes is the man known as Cush in the Bible.
Hermes is Cush. So Hermes is in Cush's hand.
Right. Yeah, no. Cush is on the sons of Ham.
Right.
So this is why we have to get to understand. Remember, everything
making sure I have everything straight.
Right. Everything got to start with the Bible. Once you understand the Bible, then you understand how the mythology is going.